Good afternoon, everyone. Metals for our world not going to be enough moving forward, although they are being consolidated for the ancient ones. And we keep hearing all these plans about they're going to do this, that, and the other and move us forward to 2030. We're going to have all these new green energy devices, yet the very simple, most basic metals like copper, there's not going to be enough of that. So when we come to these other metals, these rare earths, how are they going to have enough? But let's just rewind it back to the super simple basic, and we're going to talk about silver, gold, take you back in aluminum as well. So this chart does sum it up here. Several minerals, tight supply moving forward, tech demand. 2030, that yellow bar, those are all negative, meaning not enough. So it's plain to see. 2025 is that lightish blue, and you can see the outliers there, aluminum and silver. So let's do that aluminum for you here. Production, 39 million tons coming out of China, the rest of the world, all those tiny little boxes on the right. And then we see United States at the very top in that little squeezed section. Cryolite, oh, we should have planned for producing more of that in our own nation, but oops, that's water under the bridge. Jumping you back to World War II, 1943, almost all airframe bodies had some sort of aluminum alloy with it. This is when we had our own production. This is when we were a powerhouse. And those days are long gone. Everything has been shipped overseas because we didn't want it in our backyard. NIMBYs. But again, we could have come on different power supplies that they're starting to unveil now, electrogravitics and different types of zero-point energy and magnetic motors. But we decided to continue down burning the coal, stringing up copper cables, and going that route for booming the big business, bringing up the S&P and letting everybody produce more than they want. Have you ever seen that Bugs Bunny cartoon where they start with a giant sequoia and then they whittle it down and it's only like a pawn piece on a chessboard, and then they throw it in the box and the next big sequoia comes in, and then that's the way it was. And they were calling out in the cartoons in the 1940s. We should have had a fair warning with that as well. But here we sit today, scratching our heads how we're going to move through this conundrum, and that's a polite word to use instead of Charlie Foxtrot. How are we going to get the metals, and how are we going to continue our world and our civilization right now? I don't care if it's just America, just China, just the EU, or just whatever. We don't have enough metal on the planet to do it. Even with the combined forces of all nations mining and smelting and refining at the exact same time, all these grandiose plans that you're seeing across the waves here are not coming to fruition. So now what? Now it's time to talk about silver demand. We're hearing a lot about gold. Gold prices above 3,000. But the demand for silver continues to rise, and the deficits for silver, as you saw the previous chart in 2025, just not going to be enough there. And if you do look at the top uses for that, electrical, electronics, photovoltaics, and other industrials, that's where over half the demand is coming in from, and that continues to grow every single year. And the amount of available silver continues to shrink every single year. So we'll go a little bit more granular here on what types of uses there are. I was shocked at the very bottom. You got jewelry still at the top. Well, that'll be an investment grade product, not financial advice, but it looks like this is going to continue to go up in value as there's less and less of it. And interestingly, right in that middle column where it's red, it's the only red on there, the investment of silver physical is going down, which boggles my mind when everything else shows you the complete inverse is happening. Maybe it's just good media marketing. The reason behind wrinkles isn't always in our control. It's more than about reducing stress or eating a healthy diet. As we age, our body's natural collagen production declines, which leads to visible signs of aging like wrinkles and sagging skin. In fact, studies show that after the age of 20, collagen production decreases by about 1% per year. That's why I use this amazing product, a premium supplement designed to replenish your body's collagen levels and combat the effects of aging. This unique formula uses the top 5 critically important types of collagen for skin health to help reduce visible signs of aging. Look your best with Ageless Multi-Collagen and place your order while it's 51% off today. Only at healthwithadapt2030.com. Plus, you'll also receive free VIP live health and fitness coaching for life, a free ebook titled The 14 Foods for Amazing Skin, a 60-day satisfaction guarantee, and free shipping if you order now. Once again, this offer is only available at healthwithadapt2030.com. Click on that link in the description box below. But if you've been looking at the news in any way, shape, or form, they're talking about physical metals, the paper market. It is starting to rift apart. London Bullion Metals Association, LBMA, they just don't have delivery. Their vaults are going empty. And if it were to come out to, this is your ratio here, paper contract is 409 ounces to 1 real ounce of silver. So if you're just going to convert that, forget the national debt. If we're just converting all paper ounces to physical silver, each 1 ounce is worth currently $13,780. And it is starting to come apart. Everybody who's in the silver industry is saying this paper market is about to go poof. It's been like this for decades and decades, like 50 years. But this control of the physical silver price is about to vanish in the night. And when it does, you're going to see things that were seemingly impossible, just like as we did from 2020 forward. It's impossible, but it was possible. Now we're into the economic impossible will become possible. So are you prepared for that? Gold, $400 an ounce. That's 2004. The pointlessness of holding bullion. Okay, that's a great headline. So over 20 years, you would have been up, well, not quite 10x, but yeah, there's a lot of other things in the markets that have gone up far more. Now I think it's at 3016 or something like that. So I'm going to revert you back here. The same thing, paper market trade, about to go poof. Everybody's demanding their physical, so they can't control it anymore. A huge amount of gold's moving over to America because of the price difference on the paper and the physical in different countries. China, United States, London, they're all offering different prices. 131 paper contract ounces for each 1 real ounce of gold. Now, if you were to convert that, forget the national debt. We're not talking about 36 trillion divided by this, that, and the other. Just the paper to physical, that's $360,000 per ounce. Yeah. So when it goes, everybody's going to scramble for it. And something fishy going on at the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, otherwise known as the CME. Chinese gold future contracts and both USD and Chinese yuan data are gone. So what's going on? You know they're masking it now. If they're hiding the prices from the difference in the different markets, the difference in Chinese Shanghai Gold Exchange, the American COMEX, and then the LBMA, when they're hiding this data, you know something's terribly wrong. And they keep talking about the paper just vanishing, poof, and it's going to be very difficult to control. Well, manipulate's the best word to use. It prices moving forward. It's going to find its real value. This is terrifying people. Although on the other hand, to revalue a currency or bring up a new currency based on precious metals and, well, you get industrial metals and all the land and whatever's in the ground of a country, to revalue that as a real world asset base, to restructure a digital currency on, they're loving it. But those people who have bets out that they can still suppress the price, we're going to watch a wipeout. It's not going to be just 1 or 2 entities. It's going to be contagion wide because everybody's got derivatives from this, that, and the other that are spun off of. So if you thought 2009, 2008, 9 was nasty with the real estate, wait until the precious metals market runs and everybody who was short gets wiped out, and everybody that was invested in those companies and they reinvested in other companies, that's all going to need to get pulled back, and it's not going to. 2008 and 9 was small in comparison to what, if this unwinds, if you're holding metals, not financial advice, but I'm just saying, I'm looking sort of at the signs around here. It seems that if the paper markets go vanish, poof, that if you really have it in the hand, then that puts you in the front of the line of, well, you can trade that for anything. And I know we're all fans of history, so I'm going to take it back to 1721 right here, and this shows the gold price. Now, there were some spikes. Now, you can see in the Civil War there, gold spiked in price. A lot of people, running for safety. And then we see other eras of history where things have spiked and then declined. It just depends on the fear factor out in the world. But once this next whatever event hits, and I'm going to say a whatever event, it's not going to be what we think it is. It's going to be a combination of events. It's not going to be one event. And so then we look at the top countries by natural resource value. If this were to be a real world asset tokenization reset currency based on natural resources, Russia would be the most wealthy nation on the planet, followed by the United States. And Saudi Arabia, obviously, with their oil. Canada's got a lot of natural resources too. I think if you annex Canada and United States and you did that 33 plus 45, you would come a little bit above Russia. So the combination of North America minus Mexico, because China's way down there at 23 trillion, they're just a quarter of, but they have the manufacturing power. So again, fans of history, Moscow, 1891. Beautiful buildings, some would say that has disappeared from our modern era. You be the judge. So just put this in perspective for a second. So the EU comes out and it says the digital euro will be live October 2025. We in America are talking about digital stable coins issued by corporations as an alternative to what Treasury issuance is. And then we talk about real world assets where the entire world's economy is going to have to be reestablished because this event, I don't know what it is, it's an event that's going to come in. It's going to trigger one, and that'll trigger the next and the next and the next, and it's going to just fire sale through the entire, all global markets across the planet. It's going to have something to do with the metals, and it's kind of an unknown how it's going to unwind from the beginning. But the paper contracts will go first, which will cause a huge contagion on those that have sold short. They won't have enough money to pull back, so they're going to start unwinding the derivatives like they did in 2008. That's not going to be fast enough or enough, let's say. So other things are going to start crumbling at that point. Now, from there, when they cannot pull the money back in to cover, then what happens? See, this is the unknown part of where does it go after that? Well, okay, let's say it goes after that and we come to the end, the conclusion of the event. And silver and gold will be the new kings of the hill. I mean, it's been good money for 4,000 years. I mean, come on. Gold and silver have been used for 4,000 years, and we've only used a dollar for a little over 100. And every other fiat currency before it's pretty much collapsed, lost value. There's no value in fiat currency. So that's another key takeaway is nobody's going to believe the fiat currency anymore. They're going to have to start, and I'm talking global banking or whatever it is, it's going to have to start a completely new system that people are going to have to believe there's something behind it, because the last system where everybody lost everything, they're not going to trust anything unless there's real physical asset behind it. So that's where this thing, real world asset, RWA tokenization, comes in, because as you get, the plan is bare for everybody to see. The collapse in fiat system will be replaced by a hard asset backed system. And the only way we can do that is to tokenize everything and assign a value to it. Now, whether it's your house, the real estate, the known proven reserves of minerals in the ground that they can put a value to, those are going to be run on smart contracts. And the smart contracts with the value in it can then determine the amount of value for a new currency that could be issued through a nation. And this will be done across the world. So if you think that Bitcoin's going away or physical metals are going away, it's going to be the base of the new system. And then if you look at the ISO 20022 tokens that have been approved as the world's payment systems, you kind of get a glimpse into where the payment rails are going to be as this new RWA base. Now they're going to have to put a base layer on it. So you got to have it worth something first. After that's established, then the payment rails on how that pays, settles, that's going to be all through the ISO 20022 tokens. Now, in addition to that, we'll have the stablecoin issuance from all the corporations. And then we're going to get into this new world, and it'll be all digital finance based. And this is where your digital ID comes in. Without that, you won't be able to access that finance system. So this is what's envisioned for 2025. Now, a lot of people saying it's starting, this year, next year, early next year, but whatever it is, there seems to be a consolidated effort of timings on everybody I've seen, everybody, literally everybody. It's between now and 2026 and the first half of 2026. So that gives us what, another 12 months, 15 months of possibility in there for this thing to unwind and then the reset to begin. And ask yourself why right now. With the collapse in food production, The huge population migration happened across the planet, and then we're coming into the economic reset here. And this will also be a different governance structure as well, all the way that, let's say, individual nations govern their citizens. Oh, these are the fingerprints of previous cycles in history. We're seeing it again. We're in the middle of it. See, that's what I'm saying. Everybody knows that it would be not survivable because it's a natural cycle. It wouldn't be with our present way of life. Couldn't survive it anyway, so they're going to reset it. They're riding on top of a natural cycle to get a greater outcome. Is it the return of the Anunnaki? The ancient ones? Because an enormous amount of gold's being consolidated in just a few locations on the planet. It's almost like somebody's coming to pick it up. Or maybe that's too far-fetched. I do thank you for watching. Hope you got something out of the video. Please join us over on TikTok. Civilization Cycle. 1 to 2 minute snippets of these same episodes. Easy to digest. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.